What if she's 5'3"? Could you still say I'd
No,
climb
I
that tree every day?
think a tree has to be tall. Like Harry's a tree. Elise is a tree. Jessica's not a tree.
No.
She's a shrub.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Perfect Match recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Doing okay.
Yeah, you look good.
Oh, I look good?
Yeah, you look cute.
Oh, thank you, husband.
Yeah.
Why are you saying it like that?
I don't know. You always look cute. I'm just saying that it struck me.
Oh, you just like when my hair's down.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Andy loves it when my hair is down. I just never wear it down. It's when you have long hair, it's really like gets in the way. You like feel it all the time.
Yeah, it's good.
But we have plenty of perfect match to get to. But we first have a couple of housekeeping announcements. We promised ourselves we would remember to say them.
Yes.
First of all, we're going to do that thing where we ask you to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Tell
if you
friends.
like this. If you like this stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
We are recapping Perfect Match, which we may or may not be regretting now. Because you asked us to. And so the very least you can do in return is subscribe and just sort of help Dear Shandy grow, right?
Yeah, we got to grow.
Is that asking too much?
Got to grow. So. Otherwise, if you don't grow, you die.
Well, you are always either growing or
dying,
shrinking.
I guess there's a point where you just aren't growing or dying. You're just in the middle.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I guess you're always dying, even before you're born.
We're both dying right now as we speak.
We are dying. We are more dead than we were when we started.
The other announcement we have to make is about ads, because we learned recently, we read this, that most people fast forward ads in podcasts and think that that does not affect anything. They think they're just saving themselves time. But really, when you do that, the only people you're hurting are us, the hosts of the show you're listening to, because ads are how we are able to provide this content to you for free.
Yes.
Right?
Well
That's
done.
the way.
Well said.
That's how it works. So if you are able to just watch an ad in its entirety or listen, it really makes a big difference for us.
It does.
Yes. So please, don't fast forward our ads. Plus, we put a lot of effort into our ads. I think we give good ad.
Yeah. I mean, if you feel like you've got the gist of it, then you can fast forward the rest of it.
You got the gist. You got like 50% of the ad down.
Yeah, we tend to drone on a little bit.
No, we don't. No, don't say that. That's not true.
We don't drone.
No.
We just are passionate about these products.
Yeah. We never ever advertise something we don't genuinely like.
True. This is true.
We in fact turn down a lot of stuff. So
and also Apple Podcast reviews. We always forget that one.
Well, we're asking for a lot of stuff from you guys.
Everything. Give us everything.
You know, the reason we feel like we should ask for stuff now is because this recap, or rather this episode, this finale, was not easy to get through.
Yeah.
This was not easy to get through, and therefore we feel like we're owed something.
Yeah. I feel like the more we work, the more we do these messages.
Yes. Let's get recapping. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, I think, what we're going to say about this, but nonetheless, we will recap because we are completionists.
Is that a word?
I don't think
it should be a word.
Right? Completionists?
Yeah, it's a great word.
So we pick up with Jessica and Harry and the now infamous "I'll put a baby in you" comment. Of course, we see Harry denying this. And now that we've seen the very end of the episode where they show like the not seen before footage, I feel like his lying is just so repulsive.
He lies like a baby. It's like a baby lying.
Yeah, and it's also like a reflex lie. Like it doesn't even feel like he even would consider telling the truth. He's like, I just want a life of convenience. And so I'm just going to lie, deny, lie. I don't know what you're talking about. And then he skips to, this is his default, he skips to, I don't know what you want me to say. I want to be with you. I love you. What more do you want me to say? You don't believe me.
Right.
So he just skips over.
He doesn't understand how someone could not give him what he wants that he does not deserve.
Because he's been given so much.
Right. He's so used to it. He's been trained. He's like a lion at the zoo getting thrown steaks every single day. And then one day they're like, no, you got to work for your food. And the little lion's like, what? How? What do I do? I'm in a cage. I mean, that's poor lion. Like that's actually cruel.
Yeah, no, that's actually
the lion
sad.
can't do anything.
Yeah.
But he has the same feeling that Harry has.
Yeah, and that's sort of evidenced by the fact that Jessica, she's not really having it. She's like, I don't think you're at the point in your life where you are able to be the person you say you want to be.
Right.
And so she ends it, and you can see he's like, like cannot compute. I don't know what I should have done differently here. Like what's wrong with the situation? It doesn't even feel like his remorse is mainly about what he did to cause this. It's more like, wait, I didn't get my way.
Well, he's so used to getting away with things. His bar is so high for getting away with things that when he doesn't get away with something, he actually feels legitimately like a victim.
Yes.
He's like, why are people doing this to me?
Yeah.
This is unfair.
Yeah.
Because usually for us, most of us, that's actual injustice being put upon us.
Totally.
But for Harry, it's like him just not getting his way when he's a jerk.
What's sort of funny too is when it ends, he's like, well, I don't know when you're going to see me again. Not like, what am I going to do without you? Like, I can't live without seeing you again.
Yeah,
He's
this is
like,
going to be really rough for you. I don't know. I mean, you may not see me for a few weeks.
Yeah, he's really hard to figure out. And I've done a little sleuthing on Harry since our last recap. And I now see that he has millions of followers. And he's like, this is sort of his persona, the sort of bad boy.
But that's the problem. It's working for him. And
Yes.
society now rewards that. People are like, what's he going to do next?
Totally.
Let me follow him because I want to see what terrible thing Harry's going to do next.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder, because the thing is, I don't think all his fans are just like, oh, he's so great. I think a lot of his fans probably hate follow or hate watch or hate whatever him, because like you said, they want to see what he does next. But I feel like that's more a commentary on society, on us, on the people who are consuming.
Well, that's who we're putting on pedestals now. People who are like, what terrible thing is that person going to do next? I can't wait to see.
That's really sad.
It's very sad and it's very dangerous. And that's the direction we're headed.
And I got to give Jessica credit here, because I think that she is super attracted to Harry. We can all see it. I think that's honestly the main glue happening here.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in her position might be tempted to justify his actions or take him at his word when he's apologizing, or, see him for being so sincere in this moment, to be able to keep going to that chemistry well, so to speak.
99% of reality people in her position in this type of show, in this type of situation, would have been like, okay, I'll give you a second chance.
Yes.
But she never backed down.
No.
She has a real backbone, and she sets boundaries between physical attraction, chemical attraction, and what's good for her. And that's very rare.
Yes.
And I applaud her for that.
Yeah, I think it has probably something to do with her being a mother, because she's not just thinking about herself, she's thinking about her daughter. But nonetheless, it's such a masterclass in self-respect.
Yeah. We've seen women and men with children on these shows make bad decisions. I think to some degree it's her daughter, but that's taking away credit. I think she has this in her toolbox from the beginning.
I agree. Yeah, we're big Jessica fans, honestly. I thought she walked away. They both walk away from the house here, but she really walked away with her head held high. I kind of wish it had stayed that way. When she came back. No, I'm not saying on her. I think it's on the show, but we'll get to that in a minute.
They gave her some money. You know how,
they gave her
these things go down.
I'm not sure if they gave her money, honestly.
They gave her some money.
Okay, so I got to say, though, with them gone, the two of them, things get a lot less interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Harry, we have to admit, he makes for interesting TV.
Yeah, what does he have, 5 million followers?
I think 4.
Okay.
But yeah, people do find him entertaining.
He's not going to get any ad sponsors for 4 million.
Okay, so moving on to Micah and Izzy in the bedroom. Okay, they've matched.
Talk about fireworks.
Oh my God.
Ooh, this is hot. So sweet.
All she does is vent about Kaz and Izzy. He's like, oh, you're so... He like brushes hair out of her face. He's like, you're so in your head right now.
Like literally, Izzy could have been the proverbial girlfriend sitting there like stroking her hair and like combing her.
Yeah, like holding back her hair while she vomits.
Yeah, like maybe making braids or something.
Oh, Izzy. We've seen comments saying that they think Izzy is not a good guy, not a nice guy, based on season 5 of Love is Blind.
See it. Who knows?
I don't know. He seems pretty great on this season. Like, he's just such a nice guy, almost too nice.
Yeah.
He's a little too
almost
much like
too nice.
Wallpaper.
He's like dry toast.
Dry toast?
Well, toast that doesn't have anything on it.
Oh,
Isn't that dry toast?
Yeah, to me, dry toast, toast really needs something on it.
Yeah, but dry toast isn't bad. Like if you're really hungry and someone gives you a good piece of dry toast, you're like, you know what? This is doing the job.
Dry toast.
But you're not happy about it. You're just like, this is satisfying me so that I don't have to eat something immediately.
At that point, the bread itself needs to be really good.
Oh, yeah. It can't be bad toast.
Yeah.
But if it's decent toast and it's dry, it can get the job done sometimes. I'm going to be honest.
When a restaurant gives you a basket of bread,
just
bread, and there's no olive oil, no butter, I'm one of those people that asks for olive oil or butter.
I think most people do.
You think?
There needs to be moisture in bread to make it really elevated.
Yeah.
I think. And I think that in previous shows, maybe Izzy had some moisture to the bread, but in this show, the bread is not dressed.
I think that the personalities on this show are so big that he just sort of like disappears.
Yes. And it seems like a decent guy.
No, yeah, in like an endearing way, actually.
Right.
Like we said before that we think Izzy's relatable in that same way.
And the problem is he's normal in this scene.
Yes.
And that doesn't work.
So now we have the final compatibility challenge. The couples have to answer questions correctly about each other to earn planks to build a bridge across this body of water. And then there's a race. Some of the questions include: how many times a week does your partner want to have sex? How long does it take your partner to get ready for a night out? The highlight here is Tolu misusing the greater than symbol.
Yeah.
That she was so convinced she was right. This was pretty funny.
That's right. I could honestly see myself screwing this up on national TV.
That I gotta say, the greater than, lesser than symbol is something that I've always glanced at for a hair longer than maybe I should.
It's like the words mirror and window.
For you.
I often switch those two.
That's me with
I don't
East.
think that's universal, but I do.
For me, it's East and West.
East and West. Interesting.
Another one is: how many people has your partner slept with? Elise guesses 1 to 20 for Brighton when it's really 100 plus. I would have guessed this.
Yeah. And even if it's not 100 plus, Brighton's going to say it's 100 plus.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Kaz is actually 1 to 20.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not surprised by that, actually.
I think he's lying, but it's okay.
Oh, you think he's lying?
Maybe. He's lying down. And Brighton would lie up. I think Kaz would lie down.
Okay. And now we have the race, and Chris and Tolu win because poor Alara forgot she had to ring this bell. I mean, that's classic.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing was a little Survivor-y, but poor Alara. I mean, it's so Survivor to have forgotten this one key thing that you needed to do.
But in the end, it doesn't really matter. I will say these games, best part of the show. I like the games.
Yeah, they are the best part. Also, though, selfishly, I really wish Alara and Steven had won. And I say that because, not because I don't like Chris and Tolu together. I love that they got their date and all that. I just don't really like them in the boardroom because Tolu goes into the boardroom very like, oh, they're all my friends. That's my girl this. Like, I want her to have a great time.
She loves the phrase "my girl."
She loves the
for
phrase
herself and other girls.
Yeah.
And guys, maybe. I don't know. It's always my girl. Everyone's my girl.
Yeah, and I think that's sweet and all. It's just not, to me, I don't think this is that kind of show. I like it more when there's more of like a sabotaging nature to it.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, I it didn't work out for her, so I'd like her to go on a date with this other guy. It's like boring.
I think the structure falls apart in the show a little bit.
Well, if the people in the boardroom are not trying to sabotage anyone.
Right, but you can't be guaranteed they are.
No.
So
that's what I'm saying.
there's
So
a loophole.
Tolu and Chris, and I mean, Chris is not doing anything in the boardroom. It's just Tolu.
Yeah, of course.
It's just her supporting character.
I think that can probably be said of a lot of things that Chris does
does.
with other people.
So yeah, for me personally, I did not want to see Chris and Tolu win this. They end up going on their date. It's a beer spa date. He says he has a colorful past, but she says monogamy is very important to her. Has he ever cheated? And he says, in serious relationships, no.
But I haven't had any serious relationships yet.
I love that caveat. The body language, like I know they end up making it to the end and all that. And I don't want to sound like I don't believe in these two, but to me, the body language suggests she's much more into him. Like she's facing him completely, looking at him, giving him her undivided attention.
I agree. And he's looking outwards.
He's looking outward.
Yeah.
And I to me, that's just off-putting.
I think he says the right things, but I'm not feeling the right things with him.
Yeah, Chris, he's really hard to read. He's both really simple and hard to read at the same time. Like, I really don't know what's going on there.
I don't know either.
I wonder if he's really like that in real life, or if he's just sort of like a more milquetoast version of himself because he's on TV and a little like in over his head.
We may never know.
So now we have a little focus on Brighton and Elise. There's a brief conversation where they talk about being old and wrinkly, and he says he needs, when he's with someone, to see something behind the eyes. I actually really agree with this. I mean, this was a good showing on Brighton's
I will say
part.
Brighton shines when he's with Elise. He seems like an okay guy.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I kind of can't believe I'm saying that. There's also an enjoyable, very bro-y chat between Izzy, Brighton, and Kaz, where they're like laying on these loungers. And Brighton says something like he would climb that tree every day. He's telling them that he had said this, and Elise was like, "Am I the tree?"
Yeah.
Is that a saying? Is that
I don't know, but I'm assuming it is. And
is it because she's tall?
She's tall, yeah. So I guess if a woman is tall or a man is tall, you say you're going to climb that tree, like meaning you're going to have a lot of sex.
Do you actually know what you're talking about?
I'm pretty sure that's like based just on What
Is
I'm
this the
seeing
way the
is-
kids talk now? Like,
I'm
could
assuming
you,
that's what it means.
What if she's 5'3"? Could you still say I'd
No,
climb
I
that tree
think a
every day?
tree has to be tall. Like Harry's a tree. Elise is a tree. Jessica's not a tree.
No.
She's a shrub.
So, Andy, as you know, last week I went to a dermatologist.
You did.
Booked through ZocDoc. And it was because I had been noticing a few new mole-like things cropping up on myself, especially on my back.
Yeah.
And I know this happens as you get older, but I was still kind of like, And then I had a nightmare that I got melanoma. And so I went on ZocDoc. I searched for skin cancer screening, and based on our location, the reviews, and whether or not these doctors took my insurance, I got an appointment within a week, and I went, and everything's fine. And it was just the easiest, breeziest doctor booking experience ever.
I recall, and I remember you went from really terrified nightmare situation to not having skin cancer within 1 week.
I did text Andy and I was like, I don't have skin cancer with many exclamation marks.
You would really convince yourself. That was a kind of me move you made. But the important thing is, regardless of any mental breakdown you were having, ZocDoc came to rescue you.
I didn't even look elsewhere. I just went straight to ZocDoc, and with all those filters, I had my top 3 or 4 candidates, and then I selected an appointment. I was able to book the appointment through ZocDoc, and they accepted my insurance, and this doctor, the one I chose, had a 4.89 with over 1,000 reviews.
Ooh, that's stiff.
Oh, yeah. And she was magnificent. Had I not been able to book this appointment so easily through ZocDoc, I don't know if I would have made the appointment. I probably would have swept it under the rug.
Instead, you just go on ZocDoc and you're like, I'm going to sort this out.
Yes, you're an adult. You finally parent yourself. You know, there's so many ways in which you're like, oh, someone else do that for me. I don't want to do that. But with ZocDoc, it's like, no. Grow up. Go to the doctor. If you've been looking for a sign that you need to see the doctor, book an appointment of sorts, this is it. This is the sign you're looking for.
And to be fair, growing up is hard. Let ZocDoc do some of the heavy lifting.
Yes. So ZocDoc is the free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online.
Go to ZocDoc.com/Shandy and download the ZocDoc app for free.
Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/Shandy, ZocDoc.com/Shandy. Olive and June, use them for your nails or look like a goon.
I gotta say, this might be one of those like life complete moments, is seeing you holding a beautiful array of nail colors, I must say, and singing a song about them.
Yeah. I've become that person.
You have. And I gotta say, so have I, because look, before Olive and June, I'm gonna be honest, I was not a big nail person. You guys, I think, have known this. I am usually just seen in clear polish because I'm always on the hunt for the perfect nude, milky polish. I know, does that sound weird?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, sounds great.
Like, I want my nails to look kind of barely there. Like, I want them to just extend my fingers and look kind of milky.
You just want them to accentuate your nailness. You don't want to make them something else.
For me, but that depends on the person, because Olive and June also has fantastic press-on sets if you are into press-ons. For me, I just want my nails to look minimalistic but still put together. And the Olive and June bare nail set that I got recently has changed the game for me with nails. I'm finally not only using a base coat, like a clear base coat, and then that's it. Like, my nails look just a little better put together.
And full disclosure, you were sitting at my desk, taking over my desk, actually, with your Olive and June nail polishes spread about. And you were going on and on about nail polish. And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't that interested in the conversation. And I've never heard you talk about nail polish, ever.
Think about this for a second. How good does a nail polish and press-on nail company need to be to disrupt the nail industry?
Oh my God. It's like disrupting like the tissue industry.
Yes, seriously. Everything about Olive and June, it's like the updated, with it, cool girl brand when it comes to nails. And I was resistant. At first because I was like, I don't care about nails. It's not my thing. And then I tried their stuff and I was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah. I got girly. I mean, aren't these so my colors?
They really are.
Like,
it feels like it came out of your body. Visit oliveandjune.com/Shandy for 20% off your first system.
That's oliveandjune, oliveandjune.com/Shandy, SHANDY for 20% off your first system. Okay, so now we're in the boardroom and, oh God, the singles are Nigel, Trevor, Britton, and Jessica. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I've never seen this show, but to me, this was such a womp womp moment.
Yeah.
Because look, like, I feel like if it was going to happen, it would have already happened. Like, why is it the same people? It's just so, like, it's so cycled. It's starting to feel incestuous.
You know what it reminds me of? You ever go to the zoo and you see like an ape or a chimpanzee or something throw up and eat their throw up and throw up and eat their throw up? You ever see that?
No.
Oh, is that something I've only seen? Well, it happens.
Okay.
I've seen it a few times. Yeah. I spent a lot of time at the zoo.
Look, I understand that they cast a certain number of people on this show, but it's feeling very repetitive.
Yeah.
And we've seen these people before. And they put Izzy on a date with Jessica, which, I mean, come on.
I mean,
this was never going to happen.
You know what? That was insulting our intelligence.
Oh my God. I was just about to say that. This was the moment in this episode and the rest of the episode, there's tons of it, where I felt like my intelligence was insulted, which is a real shame because in our first recap of this show, the first 6 episodes, we felt this show for once wasn't insulting our intelligence, unlike Bachelor in Paradise, where we often feel it is. This is where it just went like it nosedived. Nose-dove?
It nosedived. It nosedived. Dived. Yeah, it's nosedived.
No,
I've had this
but if you were just to take past tense of dive, it would be dove.
I think it's
he
dived.
dove into the water.
Dove.
Okay, well,
dive.
we'll find
I think
out.
dove might be a made up word. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's dived.
All right.
I don't know.
You seem pretty confident.
I don't seem that. I seem confident, but I'm not.
Okay, so what were you going to say?
I think Netflix just said, you know what? We're going to do an experiment with this show. It's an experiment. They just throw all these popular, hot reality TV dating people together and see what happens. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You being Netflix, and I think, and us, the audience.
Definitely us.
Yeah, I think Netflix wins no matter what.
We definitely lost.
Yeah, Netflix is the casino. They're the house. We're the gamblers. So we were doing well at the table. I think we were up. We were up a lot. We got a little drunk. And we started increasing our bets, and we lost it all.
I think in the first batch we were winning.
We were winning.
And you could tell by our recap, we were like, this was better than we thought it was going to be. Our intelligence isn't being insulting. I'll keep watching. And then episode 7 to 9, I was like I'm getting concerned, but I'll see what happens. And then this was just such a disaster. This was like, we lost all our winnings. We lost all the money we came into it with. And all we want now is to go back in time and not have watched it.
But you know what they say about gamblers? They say they go to the casino to lose. That's really what they're going for.
Oh. Ooh.
So... yeah.
Something to observe there. Yeah. So to me, I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I swear I won't mention it again, although we probably will when we get to the end. But the lack of stakes in this show is a disaster.
It has to be changed. If they do a season 3, they have to make a difference. There has to be something they win.
Yes.
And it has to be big.
Yes.
And I know they have the budget for it.
Yes.
So why not give it to them?
Because at the end, no one cared.
No one cared.
There was nothing to care about. Like,
what is it?
You need to care. You need the contestants to care. We need to care about the people who are caring about whether or not they win. There's just no caring.
That's the thing. What are we watching that last episode for? To just see some niceties of these couples just chatting about how great their relationship that's not going to last 6 months is? It's just really dumb. Like, no one cares. There was no ending. There needs to be an ending to a show. As dumb as that ending, as dumb as and contrived and ridiculous as that ending is, there has to be an ending. And there was no ending to this.
Agreed. Meanwhile, back at the house, we see a tense conversation between Christine and Kaz about kissing other people. Like, oh my God, these two, they're so terrible together.
Terrible.
He's upset that she kissed Nigel at this party, but he also kissed Holly.
Right.
Like, what
but he kissed her in a game. He had to kiss her.
She also kissed
choice.
Nigel in a game.
Oh, that's true. You're right. They both kissed in a game. So technically the kiss doesn't count.
What is, it's so weird to me, the idea of being jealous when you don't actually have anything.
Ridiculous.
That's just being jealous for the sake of being jealous. Like, you're just possessive for the sake of it. Like, we chose to match this one time, which is this arbitrary thing based on this show we're all on. Like, I don't actually know anything about you or care about you, and you don't care about me.
Yet you're still able to be super jealous.
Yes.
And criticize me for straying from a thing that wasn't there.
Yes, that never existed in the first place.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so now Izzy and Jessica go on this aerial yoga lesson. They're both good sports about it, but we both were like, waste of time.
Come on.
And Christine and Nigel now. Okay, so they've kind of somehow become major players in this episode all of a sudden. Christine, in her confessional, raves about his smile. his abs, his big arms.
That's all you need.
They have a sound bath experience. It felt very Bachelor in Paradise. This whole
I feel
episode.
like a lot of
dates.
things were like very
Ripping off
of Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah. He asks about Kaz and she says, he does check off things on my box.
What about the other parts?
Meanwhile, Nigel says so many people are used to single Nigel. They don't know how I can be in a relationship. So many people are used to single. He speaks in the third person, talks about how so many people are used to single Nigel. Like, who are these people?
Who are these people?
The two of them.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is at the heart, you can't have a love story about two people that you A, don't know anything about, and therefore B, don't care about.
Right. That's the thing. This is why this show was so flawed. This is just another reason, is that these people just kind of were peripheral characters.
Yes.
They came very late and they were barely there to begin with.
Yes.
And now we're supposed to suddenly be like, oh, this is the couple. This is the homecoming king and queen.
Yeah. And we have to add too, they're not very likable. Like Christine is the sort of tangent on which this tangent is built, right? Christine comes in matched with Kaz and then she goes with Nigel and then she becomes this major player somehow. And Christine, I've got to say, is not a likable contestant. Yeah. She's very jealous. Yeah. Yet also does whatever she wants. When her coming on to Kaz didn't feel like it was based on actually knowing anything about him.
Right. It just seemed opportunistic.
Yes. And then when he goes back with Micah, she acts so wronged.
Right.
Like I personally don't find Christine to be a compelling protagonist in any sense. So I just don't know why we're supposed to care or root for them.
Right. And they seem perfectly fine together, I guess. I guess they could, I don't know, things could go okay there, maybe.
What, like fine together what? Like painting on each other's butts?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm just guessing based on the general temperature I'm getting from it. I have no idea.
You know, we really are not meant to be talking about this show.
No. This is
I don't think we're the target audience.
We're not. We're not the target audience.
We're not.
But you know what? I'm going to give the target audience the benefit of the doubt and say that even the target audience probably was disappointed in how this thing wrapped.
I don't even know who the target audience for this show is. Who's the target audience? Who would like this?
People who will watch anything.
I think this is background music.
You know what this is? This is the music you hear in the elevator in the casino while you're going to lose all your money.
So back at the house now, Kaz asks to speak with Micah. In his confessional, he says he misses her. Even this didn't feel like a conversation. It was just him saying he's all in with her, and then sort of ends with this question mark. Ugh, what a waste of time. Okay, so now we finally have our final mixer. Leahy says things are literally getting down to the 11th hour. And it is palpable, I think, to all of us that things are just, everyone's going through the motions at this point. Yeah. It feels like the producers are. It feels like Nick Lachey is. Yeah. It feels like all the contestants are. We're all just like, we see the finish line. Let's just all get to the end because we're all contractually obliged.
Yes. That's what it feels like. And it does not flow. No. I will be honest. This does not flow.
It does not make for good
I thought
TV.
Love is Blind had some moments towards the end where, you know, it felt like it was going through the motions, but there was the end.
The stakes.
You always had the end in Love is Blind.
Yes.
That's why Love is Blind is a good show.
Yes.
You have a beginning, you have a middle, and you have an end.
Yes. And the end has stakes.
You only have a middle here, really. This is just the middle.
Yes.
Because we've all seen these people before, and we know how, well, we meaning people who've seen them.
Yeah.
And we know how they're generally going to act.
Yeah.
So that's the middle.
Yeah.
Right? You have the middle. You saw the beginning. Now you have the middle, and there's no end. So you just have a show that's a middle.
Okay, so the girls ask Jessica about Izzy, but the whole thing is so patronizing. Like, do they even think, like, they don't think this is a thing.
No.
We learn Harry supposedly sent Jessica an apology letter. And Christine now, she asks Micah about Kaz, and Micah reveals that Kaz said he wanted to get back with her. And you could tell Micah felt, I actually don't think Micah did anything wrong here, because I think she felt she was in the clear because Christine walked in, you know, obviously very good with, what's his name? Nigel. I mean, the fact that I can't even remember his name. Like,
you want to know the honest truth? When they said Nigel was one of the people who was going to be coming in the final, you know, boardroom, I forgot who he was completely.
Oh, when his face
I
was
had
on
no
the
idea
board.
who he was.
Yeah.
And then it took me, I thought for like 30 seconds, I was like, oh, right. I got him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Micah thought that she was in the clear, to be honest with Christine, because she didn't think Christine cared.
Right.
But then, of course, Christine finds a way to be offended by this and now confronts Kaz, accuses him of taking the easy way out. Look, I am not Team Kaz
No,
99.9% of the
nor am
time.
I.
If you saw our recap last time, we were very critical of Kaz in many ways.
Absolutely.
But I think Christine, like for her to make him seem like the reasonable one, like accusing him of taking the easy way out and just going with Micah, it's like maybe he just likes her better.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Likes the person who he was with for 100 times more time than you better.
Yes. And she says that he sounds stupid. It was just so childish.
I also think Christine is another person who is used to getting what she wants.
Yeah, but she's also one of those people who just talks about getting what she wants.
She does talk a lot about getting what she wants.
Yeah, like those people who are like, I always get what I want.
Yeah.
I get what I want. Like, who says that? And
you
that's
know
just
what?
not
I honestly,
true.
in
No one
general,
always gets what they want.
Superlatives out of the gate with people, I never trust. It always feels like not
Performative.
Yeah, like I'm so good in bed. Wait until you see what's going on here. Like, or I'm crazy.
Yeah,
no, you're normal.
Well, Elise said she
not
was
crazy.
so crazy.
Not
We knew
crazy.
she wasn't crazy.
Not crazy.
So now all of this culminates with a truth or dare game where Nigel's dared to kiss Christine, but I don't know why and it matters to anyone. Elise suggests they play spin the bottle, and Steven gets up to go and get the bottle, and Lara's upset
bad
about
call.
this. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't really go anywhere.
It's fine, who cares?
And now we have our matches. We're sold that Elise and Brighton are rock solid. They match. Steven comforts Alara, tells her she is his perfect match. They match. Jessica and Izzy chat. They friendship match. Oh my God, what a waste of time. Chris and Tolu, of course. Christine and Nigel. And now Micah and Kaz chat. He says he cares about her. He can't picture himself with anyone else. And she, accepts his apology and they match.
So what do you think? 2 months, 3 months? What's the maximum amount of time this relationship lasts?
2 months. 2 months in the real world.
I'm going to say you're right. 2 months. 2 months is the max.
Yes.
The over-under is like 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, they just
ridiculous. Not happening.
I don't even know why this happened.
I almost feel like they just did this as an agreement to just stick around till the end of the show.
Yeah, and I think the familiarity, they were good teammates.
I think they're actually friends. I think there's things about each other they like.
Yeah, and I think that they both acknowledge and accept the slight bit of evil in each other.
I agree.
There's something to that.
Yeah.
I kind of get that.
Game
actually.
respects game.
And now it's the next day. Jessica and Izzy announce that they are unmatching.
Dun, dun, dun. So this was the cliffhanger we were waiting for.
And now we have our final dates. Tolu and Chris, they agree they'll try to make it work in the real world. Do you want to try and predict what you think is going to happen there? I think they could last 6 months.
I think 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them 6 months.
That's very generous from us.
And I think Tolu is going to put up with a little more than she should with Chris.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to last a little longer than it should.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
Tolu deserves someone better than Chris. And that's not a disrespect to Chris.
Yeah, but what I like about Tolu is that she really values how she feels in a relationship, which I think not enough people do. I think a lot of people tend to focus on like how hot a guy is,
right,
or how exciting it is and the chemistry, blah, blah, blah. I feel like Tolu, like she's like, I've never felt like this. He makes me feel beautiful. He makes me feel this. He makes me feel this. And I respect. I want them to work out. Yeah. I really do. It's just Chris to me, like he's just sort of like I don't really know who he is.
Yeah, I think this is he's passing through Tolu.
But Tolu is really, I think she's pretty great, and so I want her to find someone who's like got the same. How do I word this? Like Chris to me, like he's like when I say I don't know what he is. Like he's just sort of like transparent. He's like, or he's translucent. Like, I feel like Tolu is a solid, like she's opaque.
She's a presence.
Yeah, she's a presence.
She's opaque. I'm not sure how you turn that into a positive adjective, but
I just mean like she's really there. I know who she is. I know her personality.
I agree. She deserves someone more for her, whatever.
Yes.
It's someone a little more there.
Yeah, in my opinion, but at the same time.
And someone who appreciates her more, not just for the things she wants to hear, but for the nuances.
Yes, that's another thing. But what do we know?
Who knows? I don't know.
Okay, Elise and Brighton. He says 7 days out of the week, she's his perfect match. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of do like them together.
I kind of do too.
I'm shocked.
I think it kind of works. I think she turns a switch in Brighton.
Yeah, he's softer.
Yeah.
He's like a little gentler.
And more honest. It's what he's saying feels genuine.
Yes. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know.
But it makes me happy. I love being wrong about stuff like this.
Elise was the one I would go for, and I think Elise has good taste.
I mean, she did go for Harry.
I'd take that back.
And now Micah and Kaz, they agree they're compatible, and he's going to come to America.
America.
Alara and Steven, they say they love each other. It's hilarious to me that they're trying to convince us that other couples are anywhere near as good as these two. That they should have won. We'll get there.
They did win.
They did win because there was nothing to win. That's the thing. Okay, Christine and Nigel, they paint each other's bodies and then paint on a big canvas. I mean, this is such a Paradise ripoff. She says she feels like planes exist and therefore they can give this a shot.
So, Sharleen, would I be correct in saying that we've been slathering our bodies with creams a lot more often since we've been using apostrophe?
I always am slathering creams on myself.
You do slather.
There's a lot of slathering going on. I care a lot about what I put on my skin. However, apostrophe has really upped the game because we are talking prescription strength skincare. And in the past, getting prescription skincare would require going to a dermatologist and then going to a pharmacy to pick it up. But with apostrophe, you never have to leave your sofa. And that's why apostrophe is so amazing. I mean, look, I have my apostrophe prescription tretinoin with 4% niacinamide right here. And I mean, I'm holding it up to the camera just so you could actually see that it really is prescription. It has my name on it and the doctor's name, the expiration date on the bottom. This was really prescribed for me. I never had to leave our house. I filled out the online skin consultation. I took selfies of my skin and described what my skincare concerns were. And then a board certified dermatologist reviewed all that information and prescribed me this. And prescription skincare, if you are interested in upping your skincare game, really is the next level.
And I got to be honest, I'm not great about putting on sunscreen.
No, it's actually something I'm on Andy's case about.
Yeah, and this has encouraged me to put it on more because I put it on and my skin's happy.
Yes.
And when my skin's happy, I do things that made my skin happy in the first place.
You really like that there's no white cast with this sunscreen. It really is good for your sensitive skin. I mean, Andy's sensitive skin, we kind of allude to it on this podcast, but it's actually a big player in this household. And you love apostrophe products because they really do accommodate you.
And like their prescription products, it encourages people like me to use products that I ordinarily would not use.
Or possibly would never even have like the prescription product because you would never go to the dermatologist and go to the pharmacy in the first place. Like
never.
I can't even imagine a world in which you would do that for your own skincare.
There's no world.
So we have a special deal for our listeners, the Shandies. Right now, you can get your first visit with an apostrophe provider for only $5 when you go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and enter promo code Shandy. That is a savings of $15, and this offer is only available to our listeners.
To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and click Get Started.
Then use our code Shandy at sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this episode. So now we have what I called Final Tribal. Where was Justin? I think he opted out of showing up, and that makes me only like him more.
He had to have opted out because they gave no reason for his absence.
Yeah, it was weird. They addressed it as though they were going to have an explanation, but they were like, he will be very missed.
But why? Why will he be missed? What happened? Did he pass? Did he pass on?
I think he passed on showing up to Final Tribal.
Nice.
I think he was like, I don't understand why I would go to this.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me kind of respect him more, but it also
way more
raises more questions. Like, why did they announce this?
I think he realized that he was too good for this show.
But wouldn't they sort of just brush it under the rug, like, and sort of ignore it?
Yeah, I don't understand. They drew our attention to it and then had no explanation. It was very odd. And now Nick explains what's going to happen. And Andy, you said this is absolutely pointless. They can't afford to go on a vacation together. It's so true. For this to be the big prize.
It's like one Instagram post.
Yes.
That's it.
They could get the trip for free.
Yeah, unless this is like a 60-day around the world 5-star accommodations trip.
No, it's 1 week.
It's 1 week. Yes. It's a 1 week vacation.
So this is basically just the couples talking about how great they are together, but there's no specificity and we have zero investment in most of them. And so this just, I was just listening to words with no feeling and I didn't care.
There was absolutely no reason for us as the audience to care about this ending. And there was no reason for the contestants to care. Because at least on Survivor, when they have Final Tribal, there's $1 million on the line.
Yes, it's a huge prize.
Right. And in The Bachelor or Bachelorette, you actually are getting engaged to somebody, whether that's BS or not, it doesn't matter. It's an actual thing that happens.
Yes.
What was this thing? Why does it matter? Explain this to me. I don't understand why this matters.
I mean, I don't know either. The funniest moment is Christine with zero irony saying Kaz's perfect match is the devil. But not like, it wasn't actually her saying it, was Kaz's response where he's just like, that makes no sense. Like it doesn't even make sense.
It's kind of a compliment because what you're saying is that he's matched with the devil because he's so good. Like he needs a complementary partner.
The highlight too for me was Dom asking Steven and Alara where he lines up among the groomsmen. I thought this was cute. I mean, he was above, like let's look at someone like Dominique.
Yeah.
Or someone like Xanthi,
where
they still had a bone to pick with the people that they had dated for one episode.
Right,
Right. I felt like Dom was like, yeah, I liked Alara at one point, but like, can I be in the wedding party?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
I mean, people are shitting in the comments on Dom.
I don't get it.
About how he's like fake and he's just making believe he's a nice guy and he's really not. I don't. What's the evidence for that? I don't know.
Have they done that more? I know they did it in the first recap.
People keep saying, like, they're kind of chiming in about how Dom is a bad guy. He's just making believe he's a nice guy. I don't understand where the evidence is. Do they know him better than us?
I mean, they've seen more footage, but to me, Dom is clearly one of the best people on this show.
Seems like a good guy.
Harry addresses the bathroom kiss now. And so now we finally get, this is basically what we all tuned in for this whole finale for, was to see and hear the footage of Melinda actually egging him on. She's really like, there's no cameras. No one can see. No one can see. Yeah. And, we basically get the gist that there was this kiss.
Yeah.
And then we hear him asking crew members if they got footage of the kiss. And the gist now is that he's working on himself. He's reading a book on self-sabotage.
Oh, very nice.
The whole, it made me feel like I need a shower.
Yeah.
Because even in this case, in this situation, I'm not surprised, obviously, that Harry did all that stuff. We all felt that he was lying. But I don't feel satisfied with this outcome because I also didn't like Melinda either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Melinda was totally playing a huge part in that. And I'm not saying she's the bad guy, but I think she definitely egged him on.
I think
the whole thing just made me feel dirty. Like I could have done without the whole saga.
I mean, to egg him on like that, and then I'm not giving Harry any credit.
Yeah.
He's obviously a scumbag.
Yes.
But to egg him on to that extent and her kind of knowing that eventually would probably come out.
Yeah.
And then to announce that at that table in front of Jessica as if she's like a great hero coming to save the day, I think is a little weak.
Yes.
Very weak.
Very weak. Not as weak as him, but in the same universe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and she I could almost see on her face when that was being played. Like
I don't think it was being played with their knowledge.
Oh, you don't think in this studio they played it? And like,
I don't think so.
I got the feeling they did.
Oh, really?
Like, I got that feeling that they were like, okay, now we're going to take a break and watch the thing that everyone else is watching. I think.
Oh, I didn't.
I kind of got that feeling. Melinda kind of had the look of the cat who ate the canary. She's just like, don't look at me. Like, don't focus on me, because she knew that didn't look good on her.
Yeah, but I don't think Melinda even cares.
You know what's kind of hilarious is that Harry clocked that the camera wasn't on him when he was kissing Melinda, but didn't clock the fact that there was a camera on him when he was asking whether there was a camera on him when he was kissing Melinda. It's like, good Lord.
And now everyone goes and takes turns voting to the tune of Andy, you saying the winner will get a free foot-long Subway sandwich. It really felt like
Would it make a difference?
No stakes. No one
cared. Would it make any difference?
And the winners now are Christine and Nigel. And it says it all that Steven and Alara are like, oh, yay.
Yeah. Who cares?
Like, exactly.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Remember the look on Dom's face that they showed from the season 1? Because we didn't see season 1, but we saw they kept replaying Dom winning.
Yes.
He was just like, all right. All right. It was a weird reaction, was it not?
It was, because I guess he wasn't winning much.
Yeah, he was just like, okay, then. All right. It's like winning the chance to win something else.
Yes. Or winning something where you're like, oh, like that was nice, but I really wish that me winning something could have been saved for me winning something way better.
Right.
Like it's like having guessed the correct number of jelly beans where what you get is the jar of jelly beans.
Right. Or the chance to enter into another lottery where the chances of winning are like impossible.
Yes, exactly.
Or getting the most improved player award, which is like kind of like, that's good.
But this was bordering on participation award.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I mean, for these two to win, okay, let's talk about this for a second. Because the people voting are the people who were not matched, correct?
Yes.
And were they not all housed with the other people who were not matched? And I mean, up until very recently, both Christine and Nigel were not matched.
Right.
So weren't they basically just voting for their friends who they've been hanging out with this whole time?
That's a great point. It's flawed and dumb. It's just terrible. It's a terrible way to end this show. And honestly, this show needed more than anything a good ending.
I agree.
Give them $1 million. Give them $1 million.
That would have made things so much more interesting.
I got a better ending. And this is stealing from F-Boy Island.
Okay.
Give them $1 million and then say, okay, guys, are you staying together or not?
Yes.
And they say, nope. Or they say, yes.
Yeah.
Either way, good ending.
No, it should be $1 million, or let's just say $100,000, okay, because that's what the prize is for a lot of these shows now. Then they can choose to betray each other or not.
No, they don't even have to. Don't even steal from other shows because that's just straight up theft.
You just said F-Boy Island.
No. It's an homage to F-Boy Island.
Okay.
You give them the $1 million. They split it no matter what. No matter what. They either share it in their own lives or they split it 50-50. And you say to them, you've won the $1 million. You won perfect match. You're the perfect match. Now, are you guys staying together? Or are you splitting up? And they both are like, yeah, we're splitting up. We're done. We're taking the money. Or no, we're doing this.
Well,
we love each other.
That would actually give you something to talk about.
That's the thing.
I don't even know how we're able to talk this. All we're able to talk about is how terrible it is.
Right. I want something. That is a good ending. I would be very into both the money and whether they stay together or not.
Yes.
And it's irrelevant. They get to keep the money no matter what. It's just interesting to hear them say that. They're like, no, we were tricking you. We really actually were just kind of, we banged a couple times, but we knew this wasn't going anywhere.
Yes. Speaking of which, we now get footage of this Thailand vacation with, again, two people that we hardly know and don't care about.
Hardly know.
We just have no investment in them, either as a couple or as individuals.
Yeah, nothing. Not even really great vacation shots. I didn't really get a good feel for the vacation.
No. And now during the credits, we see Harry and Jessica together, him saying that by the time this comes out, they'll probably be married. And then we learn they broke up a week later.
Or if that whole thing was just fabricated to make that joke. We don't even know.
I think Harry is a love bomber.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a love bomber.
And he may actually believe it in the moment.
That sort of playful, like, oh, by the time this comes out, we'll probably be married. You know, there are a lot of women who are like, wow, he really likes me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we think, obviously, the people who should have won this show were Steven and Alara.
Of course.
I have no idea if they're still together. I'm sure people will tell us.
No idea. But I would bet they are.
So, I mean, had we seen footage of them on a Thailand vacation, I would have been like, oh my God, so sweet.
Right.
Because we watched them fall in love.
But also, why didn't we get postscripts about people?
That was also really missing. Where are the couples now?
Should have been like an 80s rom-com where at the end they're like, these people are doing this, these people are doing this.
Yes.
Where's that?
Totally. And it's so funny that the couple they focused on in the credits was just Harry and Jessica. They weren't even a couple. At the end of the show, they weren't a couple.
You know what I felt like this perfect match was like AI just did this show.
Yeah.
Like it was an AI show.
Yeah.
And AI kind of lost its way, like as it does often.
Yeah,
you ask it for
up.
a photo and it gives you something really weird sometimes, and sometimes it's good. It just didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
It just was like, cannot compute.
Oh my
Let's
God.
look at other reality shows, cannot compute.
This was the self-driving car of reality shows.
Yeah. It went through the crosswalk when a woman was wheeling her baby, and it was just like, that doesn't look like a baby. It looks like a leaf.
Okay, well, needless to say, we hated this show by the end. I liked the first 6 episodes, and then it nose dove down and was such a disaster that I just cannot picture myself ever watching this again.
No, this may be the last perfect match we ever
recap.
do.
Yeah, this was a disaster. Shame on the people who requested this.
Shame on you. What's wrong with you?
You monsters. Is that our takeaway?
Is this a practical joke? Was this a practical joke?
I think it was. I think they wanted to hear us talk about this.
Oh my God, they were pranking us.
They were.
We got pranked. That's a good prank.
It was a good prank.
I feel very well punked.
Yes.
I'm into that. A good punk is good.
Yeah, especially since we have to, when we start it, we have to finish it.
Yeah, exactly. They knew. They're like, they can't start this and be like, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're done recapping.
So put in your requests for serious shows, guys. No more of this. No more pranking.
Yeah, no pranking.
Yeah, I hear ultimatum. I keep hearing about
ultimatum, yeah.
Okay, we're wrapping. We're never talking about this show again.
Never again.
If you somehow enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you. And that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram and
TikTok.
Leave us Apple and
Spotify.
Podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy and that works so hard and listens to you and then gets pranked.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.